The idea for today's podcast came from a comment someone left on my YouTube channel. This person was from Poland, but they didn't give their name. But anyway, I'm sure you know who you are, so thank you for your comment. Anyway, I was asked how long I have been studying Japanese for, and I gave a very quick answer. That wasn't really the full answer, because the full answer takes a long time. But I thought perhaps it's interesting. It's interesting to give the full answer, because I'm not sure I've ever given it before on this podcast. And we're all studying languages here, so perhaps this story is interesting to you. I have in my hand at the moment, I don't know, can you hear it? What's this? That's the sound of a book. They have this tiny dictionary, Oxford Japanese Mini Dictionary, it's called. And I think this is the first thing I bought when I decided I'm going to study Japanese, or I'm going to learn about Japanese. I didn't really know what studying was back then, unfortunately. So I think I bought this. Maybe this was the first thing. The second thing I bought was a book called Teach Yourself Japanese. That sounded good. That's what I was going to do. I decided I didn't want classes, and it was quite thin. But I thought, okay, I've got a dictionary, I've got a book that says I can teach myself Japanese. So by the time I finish this book, that's it. I'll have enough ability to, read books or something, and then I can just do the rest myself. That was my plan. I mean, the book was called Teach Yourself Japanese. It wasn't called Teach Yourself a little tiny bit of Japanese. No. This was Japanese. All of it, or so I thought. So in the beginning, things went quite well. I read the book. I learned a little bit about the language. I learned, maybe 100 words or something. The whole book didn't use any Japanese alphabets. It was all in the English alphabet. And I think it took me quite a long time to get through it, actually. I think I was taking it slowly and just doing a bit every now and again. I wasn't doing it that seriously. Just whenever I found myself interested. I think there was also maybe there was an audio CD. I think I remember something about audio and listening to something. I don't know. Yes, I got to the end. I got to the end of this book. And I thought, I don't know Japanese. I can't say anything. I can't understand anything that's being said. I can't read anything. What on earth do I do now? I just didn't know. So, I should explain that this book I bought, I bought it when I was in university. I remember being in university, going down to a bookstore in the town my university was in one day with a friend, and I bought this book. And that was over 10 years ago. So maybe some people would say, I've been studying Japanese for over 10 years. I would disagree. I don't think that's true at all. I think maybe I started 10 years ago, but after finishing that book, after not knowing what to do, I stopped. And then, since that point in time, I just spent a long time trying something, failing, trying, failing, again and again. So I listened to this podcast that was meant to be for people studying Japanese or something. I tried it for about, a week, maybe 2 weeks. And I thought, this isn't working. I'll give up on that. And then a month would pass, half a year would pass, a year would pass, and I'd think, then I'd find something else. I'd just stumble upon something. I'd just discover it by chance, by accident. I think, okay, I'll try this. I remember there was some software, what was it called? Rosetta Stone. I tried that for a while. no, this isn't working, give up for another, 2 years, whatever, who knows. Then I found something else. And I thought, ooh, maybe if I use this, then I can learn Japanese. And what was that? It was this audio CD called Pimsleur, and that was meant to teach you Japanese. And I tried it, and I think I almost got to the end, and it was very, very short. There was nothing in it really, just a few CDs or something. And I thought, no, that doesn't work. I'll give up. So I started studying, and I found it wasn't really working for me, and then I quit. And I did this lots of times. And in between those times, there was a lot of time just spent doing nothing, not studying at all. So if I add up all the time I spent on little bits of study in the beginning, and I cut out all of the years I wasn't studying, I don't know, maybe I studied for a month. It's really bad. There's no other way of explaining it. It's pretty bad. But I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to study a language back then. And it wasn't till many, many years after, like I think 10 years after I bought this book, this dictionary, the first book I bought, that I really started to understand how to study a language. So one day I thought, this Japanese study, it's just not working. I've got two choices. I can either just give up now and just never do anything with it again, or I'm just going to give it everything I've got, really, really go for it. Because at this point, I think I had no Japanese ability really. I couldn't really read anything. I couldn't say anything. I couldn't listen to anything. Because I hadn't really been studying. I'd looked at a book when I felt like it. I'd listened to an audio thing. I'd tried some software, and I didn't get into a routine, and I wasn't properly studying then. Anyway, I decided to give it everything, really go for it. And that's when I started immersing myself in a language. That's when I started listening to podcasts every single day, reading every single day, studying vocabulary every single day. And I did that for about 2 whole years. Really went at it. I mean, the minimum I would study in a day is 4 hours. The maximum could have been 8 hours. I was really pushing myself then. And I learned a lot in a small amount of time. I learned more in those 2 years than I'd ever learned in a month, in a week, before I started this intense studying. So what had happened that was so different this time? I think the first time I tried to study the language, it was 10 years ago or more, when I bought this dictionary. I didn't know how to study a language. I had no clue. I honestly believed I could buy this dictionary on one book and that was it. So I spent a lot of time not knowing what to do and giving up. For some reason, I didn't bother to search on the internet, how do you study a language? That idea never came to me. Even when I bought a real textbook later on, like the kind of textbook that you would lose, that you would use in a classroom. I remember looking at it and then doing a bit of the lessons, and then being really bored, and then not using it for a whole month, and then trying it again, and then being really bored, and then just giving up. So it wasn't study. There was no routine. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know that you had to study every single day, really, almost every single day to see results. I didn't know the amount of effort that you have to put into studying a language. I was completely clueless. I had no idea. Okay, I'm going to leave it there for today. I'm going to stop talking about this subject because I have quite a lot more to say, and this is going to need a part 2. So I hope you've enjoyed listening to part 1, and I'll see you in part 2. Bye bye.